Good evening, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy stream. Today we are playing a donation deck list, a Gary's bonus round. This is a deck that has gotten a little bit of publicity recently because some people are starting to play around with Bergie, one of the new cards from Kaldheim, that essentially gives you a mana every time that you cast a spell, and mana, I think, doesn't empty from your mana pool as steps and phases change. But this is a pre-Kaldheim donation, so we're not messing around with that card today. In case you're not familiar with this archetype, generally speaking, what we're trying to do is cast a bonus round. That says, until end of turn, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, that player copies it and may choose new targets for that copy. So essentially, all of our cards are either mana producers in some way or things that draw us cards. Not literally card draw most of the time, though. Most of the cards are effects like Light Up the Stage or Jeska's Will, which let you look at and play the top few cards of your library. So you're not like literally putting them into your hand, but you're effectively drawing a bunch of cards. This is a bit of a weird combo deck in sometimes it's really hard to tell whether or not like you have it. A lot of times with TES and Ant, you can just like deterministically tell whether or not like you have the resources to kill your opponent. You could just map out everything like either on paper or in your head and go like, yes, I have enough mana to do this. But with this deck, sometime you're like, well, I feel like I'm ready to start spinning the wheels, but if, if the top 6 cards in my library suck, I might not actually have it here. So this is a deck kind of like High Tide in that regard, where if you're going off on like limited resources, sometimes you can't get there. But when this deck starts winning, oh boy, you are winning real hard. There's a bunch of different ways you can kill your opponents. A lot of times you just end up copying something like a Fiery Confluence a handful of times. 3 Fiery Confluences kills most opponents if they've already fetched or something like that. Glorious Wolfman, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support, as well as your previous donation. Hope your weekend's going well. Now, for a bit of selection, we do have Burning Wish, and Burning Wish is going to allow us to get all sorts of cool things out of our sideboard. Notably, we have some narrow cards like Cave In that are really cool. This is from like a Force of Will sort of cycle, where you can Pyroclasm for free if you pitch a red card. We also have some things like Buy Force to help remove things like Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere. And then we just have some win conditions as well as some mana. So we can get mana in the form of something like Rite of Flame, or we can get win conditions like Empty the Warrens, Tendrils of Agony, or Grape Shot. All right, let's jump into a league and see how this goes. Full disclosure, I got my second COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. And I spent most of today and yesterday kind of sleeping that off, and my arm hurts a lot. So if I play a little poorly today, we're blaming that, not me not having any idea how this Storm deck is going to play out. No, certainly not that. My first opening hand has no mana, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. This second hand is pretty sketchy as well. It has a bunch of mana, but like literally no payoff card. If I get a single payoff card, we might be able to go ham, but I don't know. All right, how many payoff cards do I have? Quick, like, math. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, count this, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 hits in 53 cards. Yeah, okay, maybe this is fine. Lynn Chalice could be playing a handful of different strategies. My guess is going to be some sort of blue mid-range E2 control deck, though. Honesty Jones, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was not the episode we wanted to make this week, but we all thought it was important to go and make something like that. I'm not going to show the Ancient Tomb until I absolutely have to. Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily have my hopes up for immediate change, but hopefully we're adding to the snowball movement that like actually gets something to change in Legacy. Don't just Oko me. All right, we have a lot of mana. A lot of mana. Honestly, Dr. Bill, I should suggest that. Thank you very much for the donation, by the way. I am hoping to record that Vintage Hate Bears League tomorrow. That is my plan. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, I'll record it Tuesday. But the goal is to push that live Wednesday morning. Oh yeah, Chubby Rain. Um, Dr. Bill is playing in the Mana Traders event that got rescheduled. So he sent me the list that he's going to be playing, and we're going to be playing some Archon of Amerias and Luminarch Aspirants. Should be a good time. I've really had fun playing with the Vintage Hate Bear lists. I don't necessarily think they're the like absolute pinnacle of what you can be doing in the format, but they're like surprisingly competitive, like more than I thought they were going to be. Okay. So about those like 16 hits. Well, have a great rest of the night, Glorious Wolfman. Yeah. A lot of times I felt like the Hate Bears decks have extremely good matchups, and then they get paired against shops, and it's just like, oh fuck. I just haven't ever really felt like I've solved the shops matchups. Next turn. Maybe I cast a bonus round this turn under the assumption that it gets countered, and then I like actually try to go off next turn. Legit counterspell is a problem. That means like Snapcaster Mage is probably a thing as well. I can probably just try to like continue to go off this turn by casting a bonus round again. I Rite of Flame a very large number of times still. And then like I'm at the mercy of 2 Ignite the Futures. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Ugh. Oh. Well. Alright. Rite of Flame, notably a sorcery. Yeah, so the Hate Bears decks tend to be pretty good against like the combo decks and pretty good against a lot of the blue strategies. But like workshop tapping for 3 and often just like either getting ahead on board or having the larger threats end game or both um often just results in things being a little bit scary. All right. So, am I going now? I might be going now. Things might not be getting better. I don't think I want to give them more chances to cantrip, and I'm going to go ahead and tap the Ancient Tomb. I want to preserve red mana. No regrets has been called. As a flashback of 8. That's nice. All right, so these are exiled, so I don't necessarily have to crack LEDs in response, oddly. Don't do it. Don't do it, Lynn Chalice. Fuck. This also gets exiled, so it doesn't go to the graveyard, so I can't flash it back, even though I have the mana to, like, do that this turn. Brutal! Alright, so we're dead next turn. So we're 100% YOLOing off Sandstone Needle. Alright, GG's. Um, do we not sideboard with this deck at all? I board in defense grids. Yeah, probably just defense grid. No, since we have this Burning Wish board, we don't have a ton of space for just like cards you actually board in. I don't know. Am I supposed to like go down on like bolts and fiery confluence? Am I supposed to go down one piece of mana? Unsure. Maybe don't want to board out that many win conditions because if like Burning Wish were to get countered and then surgically extracted or something like that, it would be disastrous. Maybe board out one ritual. Keep this and probably tries to go off on turn 3. If it doesn't go off quickly, this hand's not great because like Sandstone Needle has 2 charge counters. Like you get to use that mana twice. A bonus round counter. Yeah, I am hoping that we get to do absolutely disgusting things. Go now. Losing this land sucks. But I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, this list is spicy, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to play it. Like, I have a lot of decisions this turn. Like, the Jessica's Will in particular can be a ritual, or it can be a card that helps us try to go off. I think I like casting the bonus round here. So I get 2 copies of whatever I do now. I think that means it's Jessica's Will time. Let's add a bunch of mana. Okay. now we're going places. All right, we need to always yield to this bonus round thing. Well, my opponent gets to brainstorm twice because, like, bonus round is active. All right. We were about to go ham. Like, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more storm. And LED would have given us a tendrils base kill immediately that turn. Ooh, I know Brian bought Valkyries to record a piece of content and then immediately sold them after he was done recording, and it was not cheap. I don't think this hand's actually good. We have a lot of artifact mana, but we would prefer ritual-based mana because that copies with bonus round. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. I assume this does stuff. Stream seems good on my end. I don't have drop frames or anything, according to Streamlabs. You might want to refresh. This? This? Maybe Metamorphose. I might need to try twice. Walked Airplane. The short of it is that I started comboing off. I made like 14 mana, and then my opponent conceded to the first thing that flipped Burning Wish. Also, real talk, if I get the opportunity, do I just make a small amount of goblins? Fuck. Okay, never mind. But next turn? Next turn, I think I can just make a handful of goblins. Right? So Ancient Tomb, Seething Song, Burning Wish, 3 left over, LED, 6 left over, goblins. Yeah, we were going to do an illogical and stupid episode, and then we all remembered that we're professionals. All right. So am I actually going to make enough goblins to win the game here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I Past in Flames? Does that work? 5 mana, crack LED, 8 mana, down to 3 mana to flashback Past in Flames. Actually, hold on. Can I cast Past in Flames from hand instead? Seething Song, 5 mana, down to 1 mana. LED up to 4 mana. Seething Song up to 6 mana. Burning Wish down to 4 mana. Goblins. Yes. Alright. Hold control. Cast Past in Flames. Hold priority. Crack for red. No, I don't want any risks here. Because I have a realistic chance of just winning the game with this spell over 2 turns. And if I try to ignite the future, I may lose this opportunity. My opponent is somewhat likely to have 1 to 2 sweepers in their 75. Or sorry, they are likely to have 1 to 2 sweepers in their main deck right now because, like, they probably know that goblins are a thing that they need to be aware of. But they essentially have to find a Dead of Winter either this turn or next turn, or it's the game. Alright, so there's potential white mana. Yeah, we have a bolt. That would be a cool draw. Crop rotation? Oh, thank God. Seething Song's not bad. That means, like, a Past in Flames to make more goblins is potentially on the table. Crop rotation for Cephalid Coliseum is pretty darn spicy. I would have lost my shit if they had a Tabernacle. How do they win now? I thought it was going to be, like, Miracle Terminus. But now it can't be cast Dead of Winter, so I'm not sure exactly what they're looking for. You don't have mana for something like a moat. Yeah, alright, we get there. GG's. Okay, I think I'm going to be keeping this opening hand. I'm not sure exactly how fast it goes off, right? So the Rite of Flame makes 2, then the Rite of Flame makes 3, which is 5 total mana. Oh, next turn I could just, like, make some goblins, right? So the first Rite of Flame is +1, the second Rite of Flame is +2. I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I need 1 more mana. Then I can Burning Wish for Gabos. Alright, so my opponent is playing some sort of snow deck again. Gasp. I can go relatively all in here. With Jessica's Will adding 7 mana. Let's go. That has called all in. I would like 7 red mana. Arcalata7, thank you very much for following. Hope you're enjoying the content. Oh shit, we have 7 mana. Let's go. Oh, and our opponent has F6'd. Okay, can I actually win? I'm not gonna map this out too carefully. I think I can win. Just make black here. Probably just make black here. The payoff spell in the graveyard. Oh fuck! Burning Wish exiles itself. Forgot about that part. We'll recover. Past in Flames now. I guess I have to Past in Flames now. Alright, alright, let's get rid of this black mana then. I'll leave the Jessica's Will in there for a minute. Jessica's Will can be 3 cards or other things. Let's start with this light up the stage. Okay, there's another Burning Wish. So now I will Manamorphose. Now I can make black. Now I'll Jessica's Will. Hold on, did I not make black? Why did I not make black? That's annoying. I have exactly 10 mana, so I can still Ignite the Future. Okay, LED will make the black that I need. Alright. The Storm is more than lethal. I'll go ahead and cast Burning Wish, hold priority. Crack for black. Use this ability. Yes. Tendrils. Cast Tendrils. Alright. Good stuff. I think we'll kind of do something similar to what we did before. I think I'll go down 1 Lightning Bolt and 1 Seething Song like before as well. Tendrils Art's fine. Look, why stop at 10 drills? If you can make 20 drills, do it. If you can make 250 drills, well, at that point it's probably showing off a little bit and showboating, but it's cool once. I don't have any lands here, despite the fact that I have some mana. I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan to something that's safer. Nope, not this. This is going to have to be a keep. I'll put back this land and this lotus petal, I think. I love that Spinal Tap references are still a thing. Yeah, I've played Bonus Gnome once or twice before, and there are a lot of times where I could have kept going, but Moto was having a bad time. I can make a handful of goblins on turn 1. Just go like Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, Jessica's Will, 6 mana, Burning Wish, goblins. I'm in? I think I'm in. Gobos! Gobos! We made 8 goblins on turn 1 on a mold of 5. I take that. Oh? Excuse me? The fuck is this? The fuck is this? Alright, was not was not expecting that. No, our opponent showed us an Astrolabe in game 1, so they're on something spicy. Alright, I need some mana. But once I have mana, like, bonus round and 1 Ignite the Futures is a surprising amount of gas. I'm not willing to just, like, play and Ignite the Futures to try and hit a land drop here, and, like, maybe go off. Like, if I can play and Ignite the Future when I have at least one other mana source, I think I'm okay with it. Ah, shit. Here we go. Yeah, cool guy. I am, more or less a Legacy specialist. Occasionally, I'll play some Vintage or Modern or Draft, but, Legacy is my love. Alright, so I do need to live in fear of a day's undoing. uh, that's an understatement, cool guy. Oko is, one of the best cards in the format right now, and probably needs to be banned. Oh, fucking punished. But I wanted to be able to hit the land drop off of that. I don't regret that decision. Like, I think my line was correct. It's just punishing. Now I don't think I ignite the futures here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shark? Shark. Alright, I have to try to win the game on my next turn. I am dead to board. Excuse me, as is. Beat Monster, thank you very much for your support. Alright, here we go. This gets countered, I should be dead in almost every circumstance. Yep. I think I Manamorphose first here. Oh, right, I don't get to draw that card. Fuck. Oh, yeah, we're dead. Ah! Fucking Burning Wish, man. Burning Wish for Pyroclasm. It was not ready for that. Nor do I think I will play around it again. I'll make goblins again in a heartbeat. Yeah. As a cast, we think that Dreadhorde Arcanist and Oko are the big problems with the format right now. There are other cards that are like, man, it sucks that this exists. Or like, this is maybe bannable in a world that doesn't have Dreadhorde Arcanist and Oko. But we think that's the starting point. Yes, I would like to play first. Yes, I will keep this hand. I haven't done math yet, but I wonder if we just get to go off on turn 2. I might not need to try to go off on turn 2, but I might be able to. So I have 3, 4, 5. I can ignite the future with 1 floating. Yeah, that doesn't seem good enough to win. What about now? Oh, sorry, I sold myself short. So Seething Song makes 5. I have 7 mana. Is that fine? This the one that has flashback? This is the one that has flashback. I don't know that I have any reason to start going off this turn, though. I think I'm going to wait a turn cycle. Oh yeah, cool guy, for sure. Like, Legacy as a whole is such a, like, rich and interesting format. It has some issues exactly right now, but generally speaking, Legacy is the format that has interested me the most in the last 10 years. And there are very few times in where I feel like a format is better than Legacy. This happens to be one of those times. I feel like Vintage is currently the best format, not Legacy. But I usually feel like Legacy is the best format in Magic, and it's not usually particularly close. Alright. Now do I want to start trying to go off? Because this next turn cycle is the turn where things can start to come into play that I actually care about. I think let's go. Ignite first? Ignite first. Goblins? I can make a whole bunch of goblins here. Because I have 6 mana. That does it. But I can get got by Burning Wish again. What do you mean they don't have red? They have Astrolabe. Let's do it. Let's make goblins. It's a line that can be beaten, but it's a line that puts 0 variance into this turn. Goblin Bushwhacker. Get him. Like, they basically have to play the Burning Wish this turn, or hit both a land drop this turn and a land drop next turn to Burning Wish and Pyroclasm in the same turn. That would require that they have double red, though. I guess they could also, like, set up a Terminus, if that's a card that they're playing. Or is it Reeks of Desperation? I put 14 goblins into play on turn 3. Like, you gotta dig for an answer to that or you die. Alright, what's the flashback look like on this? Until the end of your next turn. So I could just cast Ignite the Future. Ooh, I can Spectacle this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, didn't get Terminus. Okay, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Like, come on. You Burning Wished me for Pyroclasm. I accepted it. You have a fucking Anger of the Gods? Like, I'm not really mad, but I do call Poppycock. And I want that to be clear. This is sort of an awkward spot. I think I need to wait. Oh, no, I can't wait. Like, I just have to, like, rip off this bonus round this turn if I wanna cast it. Alright. Well, I don't love this. So the issue here is that I don't have an initial mana source, so I need to hit something like a Lotus Petal or LED? Alright, what's the timing on these? Until end of next turn? Until end of next turn. So next turn I can try to go off again. And all this stuff can just hang out in exile, not in play? Alright. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so these are in exile. I could have like LED'd into Seizing Thong and kept going now. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I fucked up. I shouldn't have passed. Yeah, I'm not used to playing this deck, obviously. Dear streamer, this deck that someone bribed you to play that you've probably played once before in your life, you made an error. You did a dub. I am requesting a refund of my time. Yes, I would like to cast Seething Song. I wanted to use Ancient Tomb mana for that, but okay. Heat Monster and Snarky, thank you very much for following. I don't know exact order of operations here. I'm going to cast this card from my hand. I think we're probably good. We're not 100% good, but we're probably good. Why are we not letting me select what fucking mana I want to use for my spell? Just curious. Wait, hold up. These are free? Holy shit, this card's better than I thought. Alright, well then I definitely messed up last time around. Okay, but this one's not free. Oh, there's a fiery confluence. There's a defense grid. That's super hot. Red. All right, I have a third LED. All right. All right. I've made some mana. Let's cast the Past in Flames. All right. Let's cast a bonus round. Let's make some mana. All right. I can't always yield to my own spells, but I am good with them happening. Trust me. We're here to break Moto, not to win. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, another bonus round. Wheat. I guess that was a reason to start, like, or to wait on drawing cards, but, like, whatever. All right, I'm tired of casting Manamorphose. I don't like this card anymore. Also, like, I could have won a long time ago by just killing my opponent with Fiery Confluence. But, you know, here we are. All right. So that round could have been played better. Is the feedback that I got from chat. Record. Okay. Opening hand's kind of weird. I have a bonus round and some resources to get started, so I think I'm going to keep this hand, but I'm not really quite there yet, and a wasteland sucks for me. A lot of the Death and Taxes stuff came from Conspiracy, not Commander. So I think, like, some of this, like, Sanctum Prelate Recruiter the Guard type. Okay. Alright, so Wasteland is a very real concern if my opponent is throwing a Valakut out there. That's okay. I don't think I'm going to play out LED to play around Athalia. Ah. Making Legacy better? Yeah, fuck. Alright, making Legacy better with supplemental products? I don't know. Like, a lot of the supplemental products have given us, like, very powerful Legacy things, but they haven't always been, like, okay. Like, a lot of the fair cards are fine. But, like, True Name Nemesis, for example, was really pushed for its time. Are we going now? Jessica's Will, 5 mana, bonus round down to 2 mana, Rite of Flame. No, like, my payoffs right now happen to be card draw related. That's really unfortunate. I need to use the Jeska's Will as exile instead of as mana. Okay. I'm gonna try to go off next turn. We're not wheeling right now. I wonder if they're gonna copy my Sandstone Needle. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Bonus round 1 floating, Rite of Flame, Seething Song, Jeska's Will twice. Hope it gets there. Anamorphose can be a ritual that doesn't draw cards. This works some portion of the time. Alright. Let's go! Yeah, Burning Wish would be sick. Burning Wish for Grape Shot, and then, like, get to Reforge the Soul and Metamorphose. Reforging the Soul twice is actually kind of hilarious. Alright, please don't miss off this Jeska's Will. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're fine. Yeah. Our opponent was probably just dead there. Like, Burning Wish for Grape Shot, kill Spirit. I can Ruby. Yeah, like that's got to be deterministically dead. We can probably Grape Shot them to death with what we have there. I don't think I sideboard. Like, I want to be able to Burning Wish for this or this to kill their stuff. I could board in the Fiery Confluence. Deck's perfect, hit submit. Yeah, the Hackbird, like, the tap to mute on the mic is such a huge quality of life improvement. Like, it's little, but I love it. Oh no, it's Miracle. Can't just crack LED to do everything. I know LED does most things unfairly, but not this. This hand is very good. I'm not sure exactly what it does yet. But I probably just make goblins on turn 2. 3 mana, probably up to 6-ish mana with Jeska's Will. Burning Wish Gobos. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Unfortunately, this is on 5, so 2 of these have to go back. I think that means this is going back. If my opponent has a, like, turn 2 Thalia, that would be kind of a pain in the butt. Oh no, my opponent mulled to 4? No, my opponent mulled to 5. Once Upon a Time's on this deck. That means my Jeska's Will is worse. I should have kept the second Burning Wish. I didn't notice that. So they're presumably going to play some... Oh, a Sylvan Library. Okay. So Jeska's Will doesn't actually produce mana right now. Really awkward. Oh, so this actually doesn't let me use LED, does it? That's awkward. Turn's very awkward. Like, Jeska's Will is no longer a ritual. The timing restriction on these. This turn, unfortunate. So if this hits play, LED and Petal don't do things. Can't bonus round and then do something else meaningful. I think I just have to play a land and pass, unfortunately. I might just Burning Wish this turn. I can Burning Wish and get... I don't know that Empty is going to beat the fair side of their deck. I could just Burning Wish Grape Shot and kill Dryad Arbor. That doesn't seem great. It's going to pass. Yeah, the issue with Burning Wish for right is that unless the Jeska's Will hits really well, this really... Alright, yeah, they're just going for that. Like, this Burning Wish may need to be my win condition, not a piece of mana, is the gist of what I was going to say. Desperate Ritual, bonus round, Manamorphose. That makes 4 mana. I can then Jeska's Will, which can make 8 mana. I can then Burning Wish for how many goblins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 goblins. I think I have enough mana to cast another thing before that. Do I have enough mana to just cast Fiery Confluence before that? Yeah, probably. I think that ends up winning most of the time. Depending on like what the storm count looks like. Confluence might just end up killing too. Like when combined with Grape Shot. Ooh, especially now. Nice. Add red. Choose you. A2. Same targets. I'm going to go ahead and Ignite the Future. That's 8 cards that I get to cast for free. Alright, so these don't actually produce mana, but they're Storm Count. But I guess I could make them produce mana. If I were to kill the pig. Oh, they're only free if I flashback. I see. Okay. This is 12 to the face. Then I have 4 remaining mana, which is Burning Wish and whatchamacallit. Storm count high enough for that. Yeah. Six damage to each opponent. Can't Tendrils. I can't sacrifice the LED. I'll get a Rite of Flame with the first one just to add to the storm count for Rubbins, and then I'll get Grape Shot with the second one. And we'll go ahead and finish it here. I'm going to hit same targets a large number of times. Yeah, casting the Jessica's Will from the graveyard is obviously pretty good as well. But I think I just like have the win on board, so why not take it? Because I definitely missed the onboard win for a while last time. All right, I'll be keeping this opening hand. Do I get to go off on turn 1? 1, 2, 3 mana. Seething Song, Jessica's Will, LED. Yeah, I think I just get to like try to make goblins on turn 1. Let me double check myself. The Rite of Flame is 2 mana. Lotus Petal is 3 mana. Seething Song is 5 mana. Jessica's Will is 9 mana. LED is more mana than that. So I can have Storm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make 14 goblins on turn 1. Do I have anything neater in my sideboard to go for? Oh, can I go harder with Past in Flames? Alright. So 2, 3, 5, 9, 7, 3, 7. Yeah. No, fuck, I lose. I lose that card, yeah. Alright, Burning Wish exiles itself. Yeah, we'll just make goblins then. Okay, so I don't even need to crack this LED, right? I go down to 7. Yeah, I don't need to crack the LED. Peter, when I played this deck maybe a year or so ago, I played an Overmaster, and it didn't really feel great. Again, this line beats most decks most of the time. I'm just gonna take it. Deck is perfect, no need to sideboard. MTGO Brazil, if I lose to Dark Ritual Plague Engineer on turn 1, after doing that, I won't even be mad. Some guys out there, you know, logging in after a hard day of work, reliving the glory days of casting Dark Ritual. I'm good with that. Shout out to all my friends in the Pox community. I give you crap, but casting Dark Ritual is hella fun. Usually about once a month that I end up playing a fair Dark Ritual deck. Astro Zombie, I think our storm count there was 6 prior to casting the goblins, so it wasn't a lethal tendrils. I miss Dark Ritual into Hippie. The fair Dark Ritual decks are tending to cast things like Opposition Agent, Rotting Rotting Regisaur, Ashiok, the 2 Lilianos, in somewhere between like a control shell and a pox shell. Versus is another example. So here's a list, for example, that we played the other day. This one didn't go well, but these sorts of Dark Ritual decks tend to be really popular with my viewers. Ant's not a fair Dark Ritual deck, and you know it. Now, does it feel as unfair as, like, say, Doomsday? No, but, like, that's still a combo deck. I don't have enough mana here. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. Keep. I'm gonna throw back 1 land, I think. Alright, so if we go to a game 3, I'll want to bring in Defense Grid versus just, like, Ponder in a vacuum. Dark Ritual Trinisphere. Get him. I might end up cycling this Manamorphose to hit a land drop at some point. That's not something that I really want to do, but I wanted to keep all of my gas that was in the opener when I didn't know what my opponent was going to be doing. But it's probably just going to be some, like, snow miracles pile. It doesn't matter too much which version they are for our purposes. Like, we're playing around the same stuff, like Force of Will, Force of Negation. Um, Daze is going to be the one that's going to be a little bit in question as to whether or not, like, that's a card that they're playing. I could give up a Lotus Petal to try to do light up the stage this turn. I don't think that's good. I'm gonna cycle this, just kinda see what's up. Burning Wish. I will just cast this right now. No, I'm not going to Lotus Petal LED and, like, go for goblins, like, that turn. I'm not willing to YOLO that hard. Because we just, like, lose the game if they have a single counterspell there. And I think I can grind through a lot of what my opponent is doing. Um, Fine, light up the stage time. I could also just do a baby empty. I think I'm good with baby empty. We could just get, like, Plague Engineered or Terminist or Dead of Wintered. Like, various things can happen here. Seems like my opponent still has something to do if they didn't just, like, F6 through all of that. So I might be seeing, like, tracking Spell Bomb or an end of turn Brainstorm or something. Yeah. This is another card that I wish didn't exist, but it's so far not on the list of priorities right now in terms of this format. Avaros, I'm advocating for it very strongly. I'm going to get louder every week. Because we've kind of reached the point of just, like, ridiculousness. Like, I watched another one of my friends sell out of Magic yesterday. Cool. Now my LED gets elked, and I lose out on 3 mana. This card's fair. Why are you creating a food and not taking out my LED? Have you read this card? Have you read this card? It looks like I am just going to get stuck without hitting that next land drop, though. Which is what allows me to potentially go off again. I hope my opponent gets bored and cracks their spell bomb. That would be cool. Or turns it into an elk. That would also be cool. I think I've already lost this one. Like, what are you doing? You gonna, like, exchange your food for LED? Like, why are we not plussing on the... I see. So you were fine with giving me LED for 1 turn, but on that second turn, you were like, oh no, not 2. So does that just mean you have, like, Ice Fang Coatl here? I'm gonna try to make you use mana for it, if that is the case. Because that takes them off of hard cast Force of Negation mana. Oh no, I fucked up. I should have attacked them for Spectacle for these light up the stages. Yeah, Ravenous Panda, where were you 15 seconds ago? 15 seconds ago. Yeah, I figured it out just a little too late, too. I think I'm just going to make my land drop and pass the turn. And then I'm going to attack them and try to go off next turn. Oh, interesting. So they did have the Ice Fang, and they just were like, that thing that's attacking for 3 doesn't matter. Alright. My opponent has 1 or 2 counterspells in hand. I'm probably just dead. It's a weird time to brainstorm. Like, if you have the brainstorm, why not, like, activate it, or sorry, use it prior to activating Oko, and then you, like, make your turn with the most possible information. Oh shit, Aethersworn Canonist. Dead to that. Yep, okay. We will concede there. Actually, maybe I can't board out a bolt this time. I want 2 defense grids. I think that's all I'm gonna board. I can always, like, Burning Wish for, like, a Cave-In or Bifrost or something to answer a Canonist. I think I'm gonna go down 1 Lotus Petal, 1 Desperate Ritual. I'd like to go fast if possible. I think the long game favors my opponent. I think goblins are fine on turn 1. Okay on turn 2. And later than that, slightly questionable. Man, if I had 1 more mana. Damn. If I had 1 more mana, I'd just make goblins on turn 1. And a lot of goblins. Do I get to attempt to go off on turn 1? I think I do. Right of Flame, Right of Flame, Jessica's Will, Jessica's Will, LED. This is a little YOLO for my tastes. But like, fuck it, we're here to make entertainment, right? That's what you're here for? If I call YOLO and then my big spell gets countered, it doesn't count, right? Opponent was just a bully. Let's go! I think my opponent has a counter spell. Why even play LED? Because I intend on cracking it in response to this. But we'll have to try that later. Well, I guess I don't have to cast it in response to that. Hold up. We're going? Yes. Wait, hold up. Does this work? What zone is this in? Is this still in my hand? Alright, where is this card? It's in my hand, so I can't crack LED to do this. Okay. False alarm. Shouldn't have revealed that. I think my opponent is now looking up whether or not I can do this as well. Because they have priority now. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here until they come back. I did that and they came back immediately. Alright, I think I'm pretty far behind now. I can dig back out of this, but I really need a soul land. Like, quite badly. Like, an Oko coming down here is just devastating. Like, losing this LED really prevents my ability from, like, spiraling out of control. Oh, it's just Uro. My opponent needs to cast at least one more spell to get that last card in graveyard, though. Now that I have 2 mana Morphos, I think I'm willing to try to string these together to hit land drops. Wardrums, thank you very much for following. Hope you're enjoying the content. Well, is DeWitt. Burning Wish. Hello. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Unfortunately, that stops me for this turn. I only have 1 mana left. I'm not bad. I could go for another land, though. Things are a little uncomfortable in that regard. I'm gonna get about 3 turns to try and combo off. My opponent is going to get Uro this turn, and Uro represents 18 damage over 3 turns, and presumably they can poke me with a Snake or a Plague Engineer or something twice for those last 2 points of damage. Well, our goblins aren't going to be good enough against Uro at this stage, so the second LED is not actually all that great. Ignite the future from the graveyard is like maybe what we end up doing. Like spend a turn casting Burning Wish for Rite of Flame, and then go for like Rite of Flame, Double Crack LED, Ignite the Future, hope for the best. Well, if you're not into Magic the Gathering yet, the first thing I would say is don't. It's a very expensive hobby. Oh. Oh, okay. That's fine. Like, unless you have a bunch of disposable income, like, there are cheaper hobbies that will give you as much satisfaction as Magic. Now, if you have a bunch of disposable income, great, awesome. It's a fantastic game, but like let's say you bought a Switch game instead. Like let's say you bought something like Breath of the Wild. You would invest $60 and then you might get like 200 hours from that game or something like that. Whereas like in paper, the Magic the Gathering deck that I'm playing right now is probably, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that. Like the the game's cost adds up very quickly. Oh, it's 2,000 just for the LEDs. Okay, so $3,000 or $4,000 then. Like Magic is an awesome game, and if you want to play it like casually at the kitchen table with a bunch of friends, that's awesome. And you can each throw in $100 or something and have a great time. But Magic is one of those games that you can go down a rabbit hole very, very quickly in terms of cost. Like I sold some of my Magic cards and bought a car. Just like was easy to do. All right, so now I lose this LED, and I think that's the game. Like you can play Magic Arena for free if you want to like dip your toes into trying Magic, and like that's a great way to like see whether or not it's a game that you will enjoy. Lightning bolt my own LED. Yeah, Avaros. I would wait. Usually when I sell ticks, I shoot for 0.94 or higher. I think we will get to that point again, like I'm holding out. Like I think in the last 2 years I sold at like 0.98, 0.97, 0.96, 0.95 or something like that. Like as long as your finances are stable and you're not in a hurry, you can you can usually sit on those. Yeah, just I'd like to take a moment to shout out my sponsor, Card Hoarder, by the way. Without their support, I would spend way, way more money on Magic Online. If you enjoy variety streamers content, like mine or Bosch and Rolls or Arkans, I think he's sponsored as well by someone. Uh, like the loan accounts, whether paid or supported by one of the big loan brokers, like that's the reason why a lot of us can make all the legacy content that we do. All right. So with that spell bomb in play, I don't think I have outs anymore. It will cost me less than a minute to like play one more turn, but I think we're dead here. The Jessica's wills have been surgicaled. I've lost one LED, 2 points short of lethal already, 1 point short of lethal. So now Ancient Tomb is no longer a live card. Oh, interesting that they're cracking that there. I have not put any thought into the Burgie lists. I know that Caleb D played a Burgie list recently. I don't know how it went. I don't know that bonus round is the thing that you replace either. Like bonus round is pretty stupid. All right, we did not get there in terms of drawing mana sources this game. That is a little bit sketchy. I think I'm going to keep it because we just have like turn two attempt to do something cool with Jessica as well. There's a world where I'm supposed to play out LED here in case this is Death and Taxes and my opponent has Thalia on turn two. But if my opponent has Thalia on turn two, I'm not casting Jessica's Will next turn anyway, so I think I'm fine with this. The good news is, like, there's probably 5-ish cards that I care about in my opponent's deck. 4 Thalias, 1 Sanctum Prelate. Oh, okay, so they are not. They're a blue deck of some kind. Alright, do we try to go now? I don't think I have any reason to. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. Because things like Narset can come down next turn, or Hull Breacher that shut off Metamorphose. Sandstone Needle is now awkward. I'm just going to cycle this here, not because I think this does anything, but because it might not be reliable in future turns. Red? Okay. Jessica's will is this turn, unfortunately. So we can't space this one out over 2 turns. Alright, we got an Oko there for our trouble. The rest of my hand is big doo-doo. Current plan is play Mountain Pass, play Mountain, cast Reforge the Soul, hope it works. A little weird that my opponent kept a hand that didn't do anything on turn 1 or 2, and had to pitch a 3-drop. Hope is a plan. It is just not the plan that you want to have. Especially when I'm going to discard multiple cards to LED in order to, like, cast this Reforge the Soul. Yeah, okay, so yes. In a magic context, hope is a plan. In a medical or scientific context, hope is hopefully not your plan. Like, we have hard science for that. Um, Speaking of hard, life is hard and awful. Hull Reacher, pretty sick here. Dreadhorde Arcanist plus Hull Breacher. Yep. My opponent is going to untap. They're going to cantrip twice, and then I'm going to die. And this is why I hate Dreadhorde Arcanist. Like, my opponent's going to cantrip. They're going to attack. They're going to cantrip. And then they can find, like, theoretic. Oh, no cantrip. That is lucky. That is incredibly lucky on my part. So you're telling me there's a chance. I think I need to play out this LED. No, I'm not gonna. So, like, the reason to play out the LED is my opponent drawing Days Undoing. The reason not to is Oko. No, this will be the only league of the night. We're likely to be somewhere between the 2 and 3 hour mark. Like, sorry, the 2.5 to 3 hour mark by the time this league is over. It's been a little over 2 hours already, so don't think I have that much time in me again. I did put a direct to YouTube league up this morning, though, if you're in for more fill content. I recorded a league with the No Bug Natural Order. Oh, no Bug Zenith. That's what it's called. Deck that I happened to play the same 75 that got second place in the challenge. Yeah, Lord Darkview, I mentioned this earlier. I believe Caleb D has tried out Bergie. I don't know how it went, but I just saw that in the Storm Discord when I posted this stream there. Yeah, and then tomorrow I'm looking to record Vintage Hate Bears. The Vintage Hate Bears video will probably go live Wednesday morning. That's my plan for it. No, it's a mono whitelist. It is also a 4 Archon of Emeria deck, though. Right? That Phil. What a scumbag. Yeah, more realistically, I got my second round of the COVID vaccine yesterday, and this one knocked me on my butt a little. I slept, like 3 bonus hours both yesterday and today. Arm's pretty sore. That said, 10 out of 10 would do again. 100%, no hesitation. All right. Um, yeah. Since we can't really interact with our opponent anyway, did I import this list already? I don't think I imported this list already. Vintage? Moto isn't yelling at me yet, so I don't think I've died. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The list that I'm going to play looks like this. Um, very heavy on 2-drop interaction, as well as a decent amount of mana acceleration. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different ways that you can run Vintage Hate Bears. Unfortunately, just about all of those ways have the same overall weakness, and that's that they're pretty soft to shops. The Hate Bears decks tend to be pretty good against a lot of the combo decks and a lot of the fair blue decks of the format, and just like have trouble with both shop variants. Um, okay, well, I guess I'm technically not dead, right? Like, there's only 4 damage on board. I'm not going to play out Ruby Medallion this turn because of Oko. No, Lord Darkview, I actually, like, actively disagree with that. Like, I do not think there is a correct build of Vintage Hate Bears because I don't think enough people work on it. But I'm not dead on board. Oh, no, I am dead on board to Oko. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I should have played it out. Because they just turned their Arcanist into a 3/3. Chalice, I think Vintage Hate Bears is a good meta game deck. Where if the deck is well positioned and there's a lot of what you're expecting and not a lot of shops, you can maybe do fine. But on a normal weekend where shops is I don't know what the number is, but where shops is, 20% of the field or something like that, like it is definitely scary to be registering humans. All right, let's go. Perfect Jessica's will. Go from nothing to everything. You can't even let me pretend. Can't even let me pretend. All right. Play a couple of defense grids. Pull the Desperate Ritual out and Lotus Petal out, I think. hoping we'd get a little more variety tonight, but c'est la vie. It's been a really fun stream, one way or another, like, regardless of what our record ends up being. Like, we definitely did the thing a few times. I made some mistakes. We all laughed. We all had a good time. Made some goblins, got plague engineered savagely. No regrets. I definitely like Ignite the Future. That card was a big improvement to this deck. Oko Delenda Est, right? Oko must be destroyed. That's about where I'm at. Like, I am aware that some of these mid-rangey blue decks, like, technically have different identities, but it's for a lot of decks, the blue soup things kind of end up playing out the same way because you care about the same subset of cards. So league variety is not necessarily feeling great right now. Absolutely keeping this. How fast does this hand go? I don't think I want a Ruby Medallion on one with Lotus Petal, but there's a chance that I do. I think I want a Ruby Medallion on 2 and, like, legit try to win the game on 3. No, I think Oko is totally fine by vintage standards. Like, that is a totally fair and fine card there. Like, I have beaten Okos with, you know, I think it was 19 loyalty counters. It was something absurd. No big bad ogre. This deck has been in the queue for about 2 weeks now, so this list was built pre all time. I might argue that Oko improves vintage. Like, it's cool that a fair blue card there can give outs to an early Tinker target or something like that. Like, I think that's fine. Two mana, bonus round, Lotus Petal, Manamorphose. Go to 4 mana. Yeah, do I just try to go off this turn? Because, like, Arcanist is so terrifying. I think I do. I don't think I'm guaranteed to actually be able to go off this turn. Yeah, like, that's the problem with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Like, it hits play, and then, like, combined with the cantrip suite, it just provides exactly what you need it to, and your opponent never gets out from under it. Alright, we're probably dead. I think we just lose to Dreadhorde Arcanist on tapping once. Welcome to Legacy. Yeah, we already got one game where they didn't have a cantrip. Like, it would be absurd to have that privilege 2 games in a row. That said, they are fetching, which makes me think they're just going to slam a 3-drop. Ah, it's the other half of the gruesome twosome. So now I lose Ruby Medallion. Or do I? Because then Ruby Medallion can block Dreadhorde Arcanist and keep it from bringing cantrips together. Oh yeah, like my opponent is going to pull way ahead, and I'm probably going to lose, and like that's that. But we'll play on. The powers that be goal, yes, people have, but ultimately, I don't think that's where the community needs to go. Remember when Fiery Confluence could hit planeswalkers? I remember. I think I want to cycle this Manamorphose and see what happens. Kind of an awkward draw. Can't make goblins, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. No. Um, because I opted to cycle the Manamorphose, now I can't light up the stage for spectacle cost. um, what do I do because of that? Either light up the stage anyway, or just cast Burning Wish and get the goblins in hand. I don't really. Get Burning Wish for another Rite of Flame, actually. Get Burning Wish for Grape Shot and kill Dreadhorde Arcanist. That comes at an incredible cost, though. I don't think I can actually do that. And Burning Wish for bonus round? I'm gonna Burning Wish for bonus round. Because, like, bonus round Fiery Confluence is almost dead already. Fuck me. Alright. Okay, in good news, that means that my opponent doesn't have a way to kill Ruby Medallion. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold back this creature this turn so that Dreadhorde Arcanist can't attack. And then attack with it next turn, try to get Spectacle, and do something cool that way. I don't know what my opponent is going to do with their Oko. I assume they're just gonna make a food, but there is a world where they just say, like, I don't need this Astrolabe, and they go aggro as quickly as possible. Slightly awkward because my opponent could have a counterspell. If they had a cantrip, they would like play it pre-combat looking for a removal spell for this so that they could attack in and cantrip again. So that means they have like a land, a creature, a 3-drop, or a counterspell. If they have a 3-drop, they probably just play it. Reforge the Soul. Is that good for me? I don't know that that's good for me. Like, giving my opponent 7 cards here when they already have these on board seems questionable. I think this is a turn where I have to commit to trying to do something that matters. An Ice Fang Coatl here is so devastating. Like, that thing killing my Ruby Medallion, keeping me off Spectacle and cantripping all at the same time would be rough. Come on. This is only 2 cards, though. I mean, those are good ones. Sorry, one moment. So I can Lotus Petal, Rite of Flame, have 2, 3 mana, which can cast a 4-drop. I could cast Fiery Confluence. I don't know that that does anything. Like, I can cast Fiery Confluence for X equals 3 and give up, like, 4 cards to take Dreadhorde Arcanist off the table. I don't think that's worth it. I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. I might have to go for a Reforge the Soul line next turn. Yeah, I'm playing a lot of Slay the Spire right now. In my off time, I'm playing Slay the Spire and Binding of Isaac. Both games are very strong. They scratch the same sort of itch. Um, Although, honestly, watching Jorbs, 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 is just better than watching me. Like, I am a good Slay the Spire player, like far, 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 far above average, but Jorbs is a god. Like, Jorbs is who I watch to learn. That, and he has a style that is similar to my own. So, like, if you enjoy my content and you enjoy Slay the Spire, you will enjoy Jorbs. Yep. All right. So now Dreadhorde Arcanist gets to do its thing. It attacks. It gets rid of the other Ruby Medallion or Ponders, and then I lose. Slay the Spire is one of the games that I would say is almost perfectly designed. And that's not something that I say easily. Like, that game is so well polished, so well balanced. It works on so many different levels, whether you're playing like casually at the lowest difficulty while you're learning, whether you're doing the fun daily runs that let you get ridiculously strong, or like the Ascension 20 runs that like push what is possible to do in the game. Jorbs has a similar background to myself. Like, he played Magic. I think he has a degree in classics as well. Um, you will notice a lot of stylistic similarities. He explains most things. Um, if you want the deep dive runs, he does some over explained runs where he slows down and breaks down every decision that he does and why he's doing them. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Rite of Flame. Opponent has one card. I think I want to use one Lotus Petal to Fiery Confluence their face. But it's possible that, like, since they only have one card right now, I should, like, try to go for something this turn. I can put them to 10, then put them to 4 with Fiery Confluence, and then try to kill them next turn. I don't know that, like, Petal Right Reforge works. The Reforge works so much better next turn when I also have, like, this. But I lose the Riboom Medallion next turn. Alright, what if I do this? What if I hit them for 3, and then kill Dreadhorde Arcanist? Then they don't get to cantrip again. God, I hate this card so much. I think it's just so important to keep them from pondering again. Like, I can get hit for 3 a handful of times. Like, if I get hit for 3, then 6 and 6 and 6, like, that still doesn't kill me. So I get quite a few turns before I'm actually dead. Yeah, give me give me some banning. Like, I will take anything as a starting point. Like, I just want to shake up. Like, usually on average now, I'm playing against 3 either like blue soup decks or Delver decks. Like, usually 3 of the things I play in a league is either Rug Delver or like some flavor of Snow, and then I play 2 other decks. And the lack of variety is getting a little old. Well, all right, here we go. Opponent has 2 cards. Old priority. Erja, you're fired. Could have gone for a last turn, I guess. All right. Deck list was fun. Like, this was a fun deck to play. It's relatively interesting. It's a good change of pace. I don't know that we're actually going to be favored against the blue piles that are running around the format right now. Like, the fact that Ruby Medallion can be OHKO'd, the fact that we can still get buried by the, 6 to 7, sometimes 11 free pieces of counter magic that these decks can play with, like, Dreadhorde Arcanist, like, refueling them. It's rough. And we're taking some splash damage from the Hull Breacher sorts of shenanigans, as well as, like, just the generically powerful sideboard cards that these snow decks can play, like Plague Engineer. So, like, this deck did not feel bad, but as I've been saying in a lot of these videos recently, the gap between the highest tier right now and stuff like this is pretty big. So a lot of times we can play around a Hull Breacher or a Narset, but some of these things, as we see, like with the Reforge and the Manamorphose, do get shut down by those things. So I think this falls into the category of, like, yeah, you can take this to your FNM, or yeah, you can run this through a league and have some fun with it. But I don't think this is one of the more competitive things that you can be doing in Legacy right now. And there's only 2 of those basically. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're real close to 3,000 right now on YouTube, and I just hit 3,000 on Twitch, and that's a big number for me. It would mean a lot. Have a great rest of the day.